Alright guys, so I'm here in the Xiaomi showroom once again to bring you a quick review of the N90, the newly released N90. The windshield is nicely tinted from factory, and then integrated in the windshield are your safety cameras, rain sensing wipers, that kind of thing. And then when we come down to the bonnet area, it's almost completely flat and just has a little bit of creases on the left and on the right, and we can see our usual Xiaomi badging here. This is a range extender vehicle, so there's an engine underneath this bonnet. But when we look at the front, this front end is not like any cars we've seen so far. It's kind of like a sloping, gently gradient sloping front end, and you can see SkyNomad written here in letters, and so it's in the front and in the rear as well. And I would say this is a bold design, a departure from what we usually get from many cars nowadays. And we look at the number plate placement area. Right above it is a camera, and as you go down you will see your air vents, and they are closed right now. So air goes through the grill into the air vents, and the vents will open when there's the need for cooling of the engines. And then you have your proximity sensors nicely disguised there on this piano black material. And as we go down, we have some nice gray plastic, silver plastic I should say, on the lower part of it. So if I just move back a little, we can see it from an angle. We look at the lighting department. So you have your daytime running lights illuminated right now. We can see your two high and low beams, so one down here, one up there, and there's another one there which you serve as your fog light and your cornering lights. And as we come down here, we can see some air inlets here, real air inlets. So this will be good for aerodynamics and also for cooling of the braking system. And if we go to the side, we can see that the tires, the wheels are very similar to what I showed on the Zeekr 9X. You can check out that video on my channel, very similar. I'm tempted to believe they are borrowing the design. And if we look in there, we got a air suspension going on there, some nice carpet material in the wheel well. And this one is coming with Bridgestone tires, Bridgestone Turanza tires in tire size 255 45 rim 21. So if I just step back, we can attempt to see the full length of this car. It's quite a long car. I'll put the numbers on the screen, but if we go on to the side, we have a rear facing camera, get another SkyNomad badge in here, and then you have two cameras here which I believe also have some sensors. And then we got this swivel style rear mirror, and you got your light bar here for your turn signal, which will also double as your blue illumination for autonomous driving. We'll go around the car before we come to the interior. And if we look at the window area, it's got this chrome going all around the top part of the car, giving it some luxury touch. I believe maybe a blacked out version will be available, and I would prefer that better. But if we look at the rear view mirror, it has the design that is flush with the housing, so it's not recessed in. You got your triangle here for your blind spot monitoring. And then we come to the door area, door handle. We have this, so it's not electronically detected. There is a small lever in there. You just push it lightly, and then the door will pop open, and it's soft. It's electronically aided as well, so it's going to open, and then when you pull it, it's very, very light to pull it out. And you can also open by just pressing this button like so. So that's a neat feature. And when you close it, soft close doors. You got NFC entry here, so you just tap your card or your phone, and then you can enter the car. And then you also have these side steps or runners here to help people get in the car easier. And then the rear door has the same mechanism as well. With the window, the front window is transparent, but as you go further to the back, it's all blacked out. And then we come to the rear tire, same design, but in the rear is 265 45 rim 21 tire size. So these are staggered tires. You can easily switch front and back. They have specific tire sizes and they're different. And being a range extender car, of course, you have charging. So you press here and it opens your charging ports for fast and slow charging. And it also has lighting here to show your state of charge. So that's neat. So nothing to talk about, nothing extra. So to close it, you just press that and it's going to shut. So if I step back, we can see the design of the car, kind of giving you that Range Rover vibe. And as we go further to the back, we can see that you got a nice lip here to stop debris from flying. You got a proximity sensor here. And as you go further down, you have the same piano black material that was on the door also continued here in the rear. I'm not sure, it feels high quality and the painting feels good though, so I'm not sure it's going to scratch easily. And we go on to the rear. This is where many people are saying, including myself, that the lighting looks very similar to that of the design looks very similar to that of the Zeekr 9X. So you can see bits and pieces of Zeekr 9X as we've already observed. But if we come to the roof line, it's got almost a flat roof line, but just slanting slightly towards the rear. You get a rear brake light bar here. You got your autonomous driving sensor here and a camera here. You get the windows blacked out from factory really nicely. And as you come down here, you'll see that the daytime running lights that I talked about in this sort of rectangular shape, but it stops here and there. You got SkyNomad badging here in letters as well. And as you go down, you see a camera right above the number plate, and then you get a number plate placement area. And as you go down, you got this piano black material integrated in there and disguised nicely are your proximity sensors. And as you go down, you remember in the front there was a silver plastic below the front bonnet. It's been continued here, and as you go further down, there's a black plastic material here. You got your reflectors here on the sides, and you got your N90 Max badging here. So if I step back, this is what we're going to see on the rear. And as I go further to the right, I can also see a little bit of Range Rover here. For anyone who has seen the new Range Rovers, you will know that the brake lights have this longitudinal design, and they are off until you hit the brakes. So if you're far from this car, you're not going to see them. It's not as disguised as a Range Rover, but the design is somewhat similar. But I like that it's not this huge unit, it's just this simple design here, which is really neat. Now if we go to the right hand side, it's going to be basically the same as the left side, with the exception of the fuel cap to refill for the engine. So that's it for the exterior. Let's continue the interior with the boot. So to open the boot, as usual, I'm just going to use the press function, but I'm sure there are other ways to open it. And once it opens up, we can see the boot lid cover is the interior of the boot lid is plastic. Got a simple button to shut it, and then you got maximum 1 kilogram hook here, can carry up to 1 kilogram of weight, and another one on that side. But once it opens quite high. I'm 183 centimeters tall, so my head is not hitting anyway. So boot height is good. Now let's look at the boot itself. Being a 7-seater here, we can see that there's obviously not enough boot space left, but I would say if you have suitcases standing, it's going to be enough for a family trip. But the good thing is you can slide these seats forward and back because it's got these rails here. We'll see that when we get to the interior. So it will be nice to configure to the height of the passengers, number of passengers, and the amount of load you have. Now if we look here, this is something strange. So if you have the seat slid a little bit forward, then you can see that the seat belt is behind the seat, which is kind of strange. So to get the seat, you have to reach back all the way and pull it through, and you can see it's snagging here. So I'm not sure about this design. It kind of seems weird. But besides that, the interior is all lined with some nice carpet material, thick for that matter. And then upwards you have Alcantara, very nice feeling black Alcantara. We go here, we got two boot lightings here, one on this side, the right side, and one on the left side. And then being a car with air suspension, you can use these two buttons to raise and lower the air suspension, and you can use these ones here to push the seats forward and back, and to lower the backrest. So let's try it once. So when I press it, one click, you can see the seat moving forward, and when I stop it and move it back, it's gonna move back to the original position. So you get the buttons to do that electronically. And when we go to the left, we have a 220 volt 3-pin socket here, and then we also have a 12 volt socket here for whatever you want to use it for. And if we leave this false floor, there's a little bit more space. It's not humongous, but you can drop little bits and pieces in that storage area underneath the false floor. So that's a bit about it for the boot. Now let's move on to the interior. So to close it, you press that button and then it's going to shut electronically. Nothing new there, but let's see what display is going to show. So let's take a look at the interior. So okay, so it got sensors just like many of the 6-seater cars. It's going to open if you're not in the way, but when the door opens, you can see it's straight up 90 degrees. I don't know why a door would open this wide, but yeah, you got 90 degrees opening, which is really cool feature to have. Now if we look here, let me start here by saying that we have these sunshades, which are for some of these competitors it's electronically operated, but this is manual. But that's fine. Hey, I mean, as long as you have the sunshade, that's fine. And then you have the rear windows nicely blacked out from factory. No electronic shading or anything like that, unlike that on the new ES9. But once it opens, it has this very clean build. I would say it looks more similar to what Lishan has done with their L series of cars. And then we have a speaker grill here, another speaker grill down there. And if we look at the inside of the door pocket, it has this nice textured fabric here, which is soft as well, feels quite good. And then we have our door pockets here. And if you look here, there's some ambient lighting coming from there. It might not be visible because it's quite sunny today. And you got just one button to raise and lower your window. And unlike other buttons where you press to open the door, I like that they've gone with this conventional style lever here. And it has a neat function, just like the press button one. So you just pull it like so, and then the door is going to shut. So unlike the others that you press, this one you just use the same lever. So that's cool. But I'm wondering if it's open up to the 90 degrees, what happens? Well, there's a button here to press inside the car to shut the door. So you don't need to worry about reaching out again if the door is open far out wide. So overall, very nice design. But this is good for me because then I have more lighting coming into the car. But to get into the car, like I said earlier, is quite high, so you get a 2-step configuration to get into the interior. There's a big area here for nicely striped as well, so it's not going to be slippery on wet days. And once that is done, you can see how the interior looks like. Looks quite nice in this lovely color as well. So let me just slide these seats forward so we can see the third row seat. So like I mentioned, you can see the rails, they go all the way from the boot to this area. So there's a lot of configuration you can do in this car. But in the third row seat, we can see how it looks like. And it's 3 seats and they are quite raised as well. So when you're sat there, it's going to be comfortable. And you can see the third row seats also have ISOFIX anchor points on the window seats. Now if you look, the third row seat has one cup holder here. And so what I show you on this side is going to be what you're going to see on the other side as well. And here you have seat heating, 3 levels, as you can see. And then you also have buttons to move the seats, middle seats forward and back, and then the third row seat forward and back. And you have a Type-C charging port here, and you have a handrest area over there. So the configuration is quite nice, and you have a flat floor as well. So if I just move the seat back to its original position, so this comes with gravity seats, of course, and so you just press that button and you can see the front seat making way. There's no footrests, that's something to take note of, and you can see that seat move a little inwards and then it collapses into the gravity function. Now to get it back up, you just press that button and it's going to it's returning to the original position. So that is cool, and the front seat is returning. So this function works very similarly to many other cars. So pressing that button here, you can also control the seat on the opposite side as well. So you don't have to be there to control that seat. You can control from here. And obviously this is just your calf support. You can see it's activated here. And if I push it down, so the seat sits quite high, and that's comfortable. And I like that the seat belt is integrated in the seat itself, so it's not going to be in the way. It's got some nice perforations and stitching, nice pillows here, no speakers in the headrests. And if I just sit in the car, we can see that there's just two places here to rest the phone. So the interior is all Alcantara all around. I already showed you the button to close and open the door. You got your interior lighting here. So the same function operates these two. There's a huge light here and there's a smaller one here. You get your air vent integrated in the roof, and then you got a grab handle here, a speaker right above your head, and there's a nice hook here to hang things off. So when I'm sat here, this is what I see. You get air vents coming from here, the B pillar, and then you also get a speaker grill coming from here, a grab handle to help you get in and out of the car. Now, if we come to this center area, interestingly, the fridge is not electronically open. You just press that and it will come out mechanically, and then you can push it back to shut. I believe this is a nice configuration because then the likelihood of the electronics failing is kind of low. And right on the both sides of that button are your two Type-C charging ports. I'm not sure how fast they are because they are not indicated here, but I'm believing there'll be about 50 or 60 watts with what's happening with Chinese cars nowadays. But you have a screen here to do lots of functionality as well. And if we look here, we can see you can change your AC configuration, seat controls here, ventilated, heating. And you can see the third row seats come with just heating. And then you also have navigation here, so you can see the navigation from here as well. You got your music settings here, you got major car settings, the settings for the fridge, lighting, and all that kind of thing. And then you also have, so you can eject this phone like device as well, control here, and use it whilst you're sat in the car. And if you don't need it, you just place it back there. It hooks on magnetically and then it goes back in automatically. So that's really, really cool. So it goes back to landscape mode. You can see there's a floating screen in the middle part of the roof. So if I press that and then I press that, then you can see the floating screen is coming down. And it's a huge one at that. I believe there's a remote control. I can't see it in the car, but I believe there's a remote control to operate this screen. And you can change the angle of the screen by pushing or by activating this slider here. So if I do that, you can see that I'm controlling the angle of the floating screen. So depending on where you want it to be, you can control the angle. So that's cool. And it's asking me to activate the screen on the remote control, which I can't see in the car. Judging from being a Xiaomi car, obviously the screen quality is going to be really, really good. So to get the screen back, I just press this power button and then it's going to recess back into the roof, and it does that quite nicely as well. And it's nice that the cover of the screen is the same material, Alcantara material, as the interior, so it's nicely disguised in the roof. It's got the panoramic sunroof from the rear all the way to the middle, and then there's a dedicated one for the front passengers over there. And you can see that it's got a sunroof here, so on hot days you can electronically slide it to this position so that you don't have the sun beating you. And if you look at the front, you can see that it's covered with a sunshade. So it's nice that they provide a sunshade for this car. But if you look at the interior, sitting behind the driver, this is the view you have. It looks quite nice. What do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section. I would have thought that Xiaomi would have made it a bit more luxurious, but I think they went on the safer side, avoiding too many electronics. And before I go, let me mention that the back here you have a bracket to hang a hook so you can hang your phone and tablets off. And you also have two cup holders here for the rear passengers. Now let's move on to the front and see what it has to offer. Now we're taking a look at the front passenger seat. So when I open the door, it doesn't open exactly to 90 degrees. I would say it's about 75, 80 degrees, but that's fine. That's enough space to get in the car. The door configuration is basically the same as what we saw on the other side, with just this nice aluminum sort of trim slapped on here. But when we look inside, we can see your SkyNomad badging here to alert you on what car you are getting into. And then you have your regular seat controls. Very simple: seat forward, back, and then recline. I believe all the lumbar support and massage functions are on the screen. So very, very neat, very simple, straight to the point. Same design of the seats, stitching pattern, headrest, but you have speakers in the two front headrests, so you can direct sound to those. Now if we come here and let me just sit in the car. Before I sit in, you can see how much space there is there. There is a glove box here, nicely lined with felt, and it's big as well. And I like that it's a physical button to operate it, so you're not going to be dealing with some electronics. Now if I just sit in the car, we can see again SkyNomad here sitting on this nice quality aluminum. And if you slide there's a nice, rather than doing it electronically, they're doing the air vents physically. So it's got this nice satisfying aluminum lever here, which you can use to open and close the air vents. And the air vents themselves come from here. And you got nice airbag, nicely disguised here. You got some ambient lighting coming through from there. And we got a nice dash area. Surprisingly, Xiaomi hasn't gone with a dedicated screen for the front passenger, I believe. And I think those people who don't like that screen will be happy with this. You can see some nice embossment here, innovation for everyone. And we can see in the roof there are three microphone holes here for communication and answering calls, voice activation, that kind of thing. You got a speaker grill here, which is plastic, not metal. And then we got a grab handle here, and that's about it. Alcantara everywhere. You get a very normal looking, regular looking Alcantara sun visor, and you just slide to reveal your vanity mirror. I like this better. I just get one light on one side, and I don't like those flimsy ones. I just like this plastic slide. It's very easy to operate, so that is a plus for me. And if we look at the dash itself, it's completely flat, and you sat quite high, so you're looking out the car really nicely. And it's soft touch as well. And I like that this part is dark, so it's not going to be reflecting onto the screen. Dark colors always do better with the top of the dash. And if you look there, there's a speaker grill there, so you can see with the camera at my head level, you can see how much view I have out of the car, which is really impressive. On the side here, there is a hook which you can hang things off, and if you don't need it, you just push it back. And so yeah, that's about it for the passenger seat. And if we look up here, I have more than enough headroom, and leg room is good as well. Obviously you depend on how you configure it. Moving on to the driver's seat, let's just open that. So I believe it will go to about the same opening as the other side, and the door configuration is the same with the exception of the 4 buttons for controlling the 4 windows, and then a lock and unlock button. Very simple, not too much going on with buttons here, and I like that. And if you look at the driver's seat itself, it's just got seat forward, back, seat back, backrest, forward, back, and then you get your lumbar support functionality here. So that's really simple, straight to the point. And you can see that there are a lot of open spaces here, so cleaning this car, taking that into consideration, is also going to be very easy to get vacuum cleaners in different areas. Seat design is the same. There's a function with the front seats which they are not allowing to be operated right now in this showroom, but there's a function where the front seats can turn 180 degrees to face the rear seats for maybe parties or friendly conversations, and for whatever purpose you need. But at the moment I can't show you because that function is locked. I don't know for what reason, but the front seats can be turned 180 degrees to face the rear seat. So that's a really neat feature. It's the only car that I've seen so far that has this functionality. So that's something to take note of. Let me just sit in the car and start from the top here. So if we look at the top here, we have the sunshade that I talked about, and I like that it's not electronic, it's just done physically. So that's nice innovation for everyone. Again, here on this rubber panel here, and then you got a hazard button here, SOS button, and then you got interior lighting here, which you press to turn on, and then you got a master button here to cut off some cameras in the car. You got your sun visor here, which is the same as the one we saw on the passenger side. A speaker grill right above the driver's head. Interestingly, unlike some competitors, this one doesn't have a button to open the front door, so you have to do it on the door itself. But when we come back to the dash area, you can see that you have HUD here, which is displaying right there. So you can see even on a bright day, it's very bright. And the HUD doesn't have all those crazy graphics that some other competitors have. It's very simple, straight to the point, but it's very clear as well. And you also see quite nicely out because the dash is quite flat. And if we come down to the screens, besides the HUD, you also have a screen in front of the driver. And this is very clear screen, so you can see all your buttons are very legible, very clear. Useful information are all nicely displayed here for the driver. And we come to the steering wheel itself. It's a nice steering wheel, just flattened a little bit on the top and the bottom, and you get your horn in the middle, again SkyNomad, and then you have some physical buttons here in this aluminum material just to control different functions in the car. So I would say straight to the point steering wheel, and then you have some sensors here to measure driver's level of tiredness and that kind of thing. And then on the left you have a lever here that is your turn signal lever, and when you turn on your turn signal, you can see in the HUD it shows you your blind spot. It also doubles as your wiper controls and your lighting controls. And if you go to the right, regular gear lever right there on the right. Now let's come to the center area. So this is a handrest, which is of a very nice height for any kind of adjustment, and when you lift it up you can see a nice storage area. So it doesn't have access to the fridge unlike other competitors, but it's lined with felt so things will not rattle about. And you have two areas here, two pads here. This is a wireless charging pad, and this area is another area to rest the phone. And the wireless charging pad also is ventilated, so your phone is not going to heat up. That's nice. And then you got two cup holders for the front passengers, rounded. You got air vents right here. I like this nice wood material here going all the way down. So there's a button here which you can use to control the movement of so if I move it, you can see that you can move it forward and you can bring it back as well. So you can create as much space as you want here, which I believe is really neat. And then once that is out of the way, you got your air vents here. You got a storage area here, so you can place your wallet, tissues, whatever in here, lined with felt so things will not rattle about. You got two Type-C charging ports here, and I like that they're just nicely recessed into the wood, and around them is some quality aluminum material. And then if you press here, there is this sort of a cabinet drawer sort of storage area here. Unfortunately, it doesn't come out enough. It's just this is all the opening you have, and this is the amount of space you have inside, but it's still very useful space. And once that is closed, you can see that this is the design that the front is going for. And if we look at the screen itself, it's not a very big screen. I would say it's similar size as other Xiaomi cars, and I believe their focus is on the driving and not the screen. But being a technology company, in the camera you can probably see how much quality you are seeing on the screen. But let's see what it has. So you have your home button here, you got your car here, and then you got your mapping information here. You got your climate control, you can do the settings from here. You got a settings button here, and then you have your full navigation here. It responds really quickly. You got a 360 view camera here. You got your seat configuration or settings. You got this one to populate your apps, and they are very crisp as well, and you can return. You got a widget here for your music. You get your refuel information right there. And then we go up here, you have your drive select indicator here, your profile, your distance, lighting information, seat belt, that kind of thing. And on the right side you have your lock, connectivity, 5G, time, all that sort of thing. So yeah, by now we have seen how Chinese cars design their screens. So yeah, it's going to have all the functionality for controlling the car. It's basically connected to the brain of the car. And then if we look here, we have a regular rear view mirror. It's not taking any feed from any of the cameras, just a regular mirror. So Xiaomi has been quite conservative with this car, but at the same time they've gone high-tech with a lot of things, which I think is a safe way to get into this 6-7 row seat range extender market. Maybe future updates will have more luxurious features, but I think for most people this is more than enough. Legroom is really good, as you can see, and headroom, no complaints at all, at 183 centimeters tall. So this is a nice car. I think Xiaomi did a good job introducing it in this very subtle but technologically packed way. So well done, Xiaomi. Alright guys, so that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for sticking around. I'm truly grateful. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel so we can grow it together. Till I see you in the next video guys, ride legal, ride safe always. Peace, and I'm out.